Hey there, all you filthy heathens. This is Kirk coming back to you again. Over the last few weeks, I have been posting videos from my local school board, my public comments, and then one video that shows just how corrupt and spiteful our current school board is. We have basically one decent guy on the school board and then a bunch of scumbags. I'm going to give we have a student on our school board. Like the school board elects a student from the student population to represent the students. So I'm going to give him a pass. I did have a chat with him. He's a good kid, and he's he's somebody who thinks he's representing his constituency, essentially. So I'm not going to fault him too much. Hopefully, as he gets older, he realizes that you have to do what is right, not just what is popular. So he's a good kid. So I'm going to give him a pass. He's a senior in high school. So what are you going to do? The other people, all scumbags, and it's pretty sad. It's 2023, and these schools have really only been open for a year. So you can see how much of scumbags they actually really are. Now, I've decided that this fight isn't just going to go to the school board. I've decided also that we're going to be going to the city council. So I'm not going to just keep this here. So part of this video, at the end, you'll see my comments to the local city council. I purposely did what I could to try to make them uncomfortable. So, and you'll see why during the video. I'm not gonna pull any punches anymore on this. All I am asking for from these people is to, remove sexually explicit material, things that have no real educational value in them, from the libraries of local public schools. I don't even care where they put them. There are areas in this country where they want them removed from the public libraries. I'm not even asking for that. I'm actually just kind of, okay, fine, move them to the public libraries. Put them in like an adult section or something like that. People my age or older, they all know that, the movie rental places used to have like this area where there's like a curtain that you would go and buy the adult stuff, rent the adult stuff. You know what was behind there. There's no reason that can't be at a public library. I'm not a big fan of it, but I'm also not a big fan of banning books or banning any kind of art, art. So I'm really kind of hesitant to ban things like that. So if it's going to be available, it should be in a public library, not at the school library. That's my take there. So this doesn't stop until I get a satisfactory response. I have already been approached to, not by anybody with any kind of real influence, but from some local people here who have heard me speak and have said, are you thinking about possibly running for school board or running for city council, stuff like that. I am really only about 6 weeks into any kind of real activism. I mean, I put my thoughts out on the internet. There's about 290 of you that subscribe to this, to my YouTube channel, less on Rumble, unfortunately. So I doubt that's really a possibility right now. Not to mention, I don't really think I want to bring my wife and kids into this kind of public forum either. I'll just stick to it myself. But yeah, that's still the people that are up for election. It's still like 2 years away, at least, for the people who represent my areas. So I'm not really thinking too much about it right now, but I have already been approached to just, hey, you should think about it, kind of thing. So that's really it. That's what I'm going to do. Like I said, at the end of this video, you can see my public comments to my local city council. Something else I wanted to address during this video as well is the announcement of Ron DeSantis as candidate for president of the United States. As you've seen in many videos before, I'm a huge Ron DeSantis fan. I think I said back in 2021, beginning of 2021, in probably one of my earliest videos, probably my first video, to be honest, is that I think Ron DeSantis is the man, and I, under no circumstances, thought Trump should run. Trump is running, so that does make it more difficult for Ron DeSantis. But yeah, I've been a big fan of Ron DeSantis, especially coming out of COVID, and I think he is by far the best governor in the country. So yeah, I think from a just guy who gets shit done, I think Ron DeSantis is the best man for the job at this time. His announcement, though, I have, in general, I think it was good. He had a lot of people that turned up, and the main reason, though, I liked his announcement. He tried something new. He's really the first person to announce that he's running for president through social media. The main reason why I liked it, and I like the idea, is that it is a giant FU to the corporate press, to the established media. The actual enemy of the people is the media. You may think, oh, it's the Democrats in office, or it's, people, communists, whatever faction you think of. No, the actual enemy of the people is the corporate press. So I like that he did an end run around them. He forced people to cover him on a different media and send, they had to have people go into that Twitter space. The execution fell flat, though. He did melt the internet. He melted Twitter. But again, you have to have that thing set up properly. Now, the alternative to that also is that a Twitter space is basically a radio program. So there is, it's a great idea. It's like, let me be the first one to try this. What he probably should have done, because there's no competition. There's nothing that can replace you seeing the candidate. That there's just so much there. You should be able to see the candidate when they announce for president. And him not taking advantage of Rumble, if he didn't want to go on one of these more censorious social media platforms, taking advantage of Rumble and live streaming, say, a small event. He could have done similar to what Trump did when Trump announced at Mar-a-Lago, had maybe 100, 200 people in a nice, intimate setting, and announce that he's running for president, do the announcement that way. And that's the video part. You do a live stream on Rumble, and then have the Twitter space be kind of the audio of that. Similar to how a lot of podcasts have a video and an audio function. So, you can watch it on YouTube or Rumble, but you can also go and you can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, all the other platforms where you can get your podcast. So I think it was somebody had to be the first one, and it was Ron DeSantis. And every time you're the first, there tends to be issues, and I'm hoping he figured them out with this, and I hope all future candidates who decide to go to social media and announce their candidacy, I hope they all learn from this and can do better. I don't think it's as big a deal as a lot of the Trump campaign and a lot of his surrogates and his general supporters are making it out to be. This whole week, Tim Pool has been just, he's been unwatchable, even though I listen to his podcast almost every day, and he's just been unwatchable, and I've had to turn it off because it's basically, let's bash DeSantis because he's obviously on the Trump train. And I can appreciate that. I've said before, and I'll say again, I am 99.999% sure I'm going to vote for whoever comes out of the Republican primary. So that's fine. I've also made it clear I'm voting for Ron DeSantis in the primary. Again, it's early. DeSantis, I have a history of not supporting the front runner in the person who's supposed to win. I have a history of supporting somebody else, and then that front runner ends up winning. So I was never a fan of John McCain, and John McCain ended up coming back and winning. I was never really a fan of Mitt Romney, but he ended up coming back and winning the primary. I was not a fan of Trump in 2016, and he won the primary. So, yeah, there's a lot of that, and I just, I'm a big fan of Ron DeSantis, and I'm gonna be voting for him in the primary as of right now. But as far as the announcement, I think it was fine. He brought in a whole lot of money, so obviously wasn't that big a deal. Over $8 million in 24 hours, so that's always a good sign. We'll see how it goes. The one thing I will say, the polls, if you can go back and look at the polling from 2020 and 2022 and you still trust polls, you're a fucking idiot. Okay? The polls, they mean nothing. All right? You pollsters don't know how to poll anymore. There's just too much, there's too much out there that causes issues. Like, they don't want to say they're voting for a Nazi. They'll lie to you. I mean, just straight lie to the pollsters. The pollsters have political biases that, you really can't account for. So, yeah, if you can look at the polling data from the last two major election cycles and still come out thinking, oh yeah, we can totally trust these polls, you're full of shit. You're an idiot. So that's what I'm gonna say there. So we'll see how this pans out. I'm hoping that whoever comes out of the Republican primary is the person that can win. That's my top priority, because whether it's Trump or DeSantis, I don't care who it is in the long run, as long as they win. They need to win the actual general election. And that's the tiebreaker for me. And at this time, I think Ron DeSantis is the best equipped to win. But I will vote for whoever comes out of that primary, because the option is Biden, Kamala, or Gavin Newsom. That's not okay. Sure, you have RFK Jr. running against Biden for the Democratic nomination, but they're not going to let that happen. They won't let RFK win the nomination. There's just no way the Democrats will let that happen. Democrats have a history of rigging their primary to get the right person in there. So, yeah, that's the case there. But, yeah, I think it was overall a successful launch for Ron DeSantis. Just not the right execution. But he's got 18 months to overcome it, so we'll see how it goes. And I'm about to play a video from my public comments at my local city council meeting, so make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Also, leave me a comment about what you think about my comments at the city council meeting, and just in general, anything else that you have to bring up. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks. Hi. I'm here to talk to you today about sexually explicit pornographic materials being distributed in our local public schools. This is from the book Gender Queer. This isn't educational, because this information, this isn't informative in discussing that there are different types of sex. This book shows people engaging in various forms of sex. That's called porn. This is from the book entitled, "This Book is Gay." Here's a page which points to various parts of a man with title "Boy on Boy Sex," which I'm sure there's no hidden meaning there, with instructions on how to sexually stimulate those body parts, specifically the penis. This is not educationally helpful either, because as a former teenage boy, I was able to figure out how to stimulate my penis all by myself. And I'm sure 3 out of 4 of you can probably back me up on that. Now, I sense you may be a bit uncomfortable. Good. These aren't even the most objectionable parts of books I've seen sitting in our middle school libraries. Going back to This Book is Gay, it teaches kids how to use sex apps like Tinder and Grindr, and how to hide that information from their parents, as if sex trafficking needs to be made easier for predators, right?
If I, as a private citizen, were standing on a street corner showing Hustler magazine to 12-year-olds, explaining the sexual acts and encouraging them to engage in those acts, I imagine I'd be arrested. However, these books, which are nothing better than sleazy porn magazines, have been purchased by our local public schools, and they can be assigned to kids as young as 12. My questions are, has anyone investigated this? Have any of you publicly demanded these books, at the very least, be removed from the school libraries and moved to the public libraries? Has anything been done, or do you all fully support porn in our schools? Let me be clear. You might think this is something that will blow over. This won't be a long-term problem for you, and you can wait it out. My oldest kid is 5 years old. My kid's education is just getting started. That means I'm just getting started. This doesn't stop until our local public schools stop sexually exploiting our kids as a matter of policy. I would like to think that our local elected leaders would do everything in their power to stop local public schools from overtly sexualizing kids who have barely hit puberty. Please prove me right on this, since I've been in the school board. They won't.